I think you're really right when it comes to where Trump's barometer is right now for the people in his cabinet. Remember, in his first term, it was people who were actually trying to do the jobs that they were given. It was people who were actually giving him advice that he didn't like or that went against him. And so we saw this revolving door in his cabinet because he did not like that. He wanted loyalty above all. Well, this term, he got loyalty. He filled his entire cabinet and everyone in the White House with loyalists. But now when things are going badly, I think it's even more than just the fact that people are getting more attention than he likes. It's just whatever the news cycle is happening. And you can tell when he gets angry about something. And sometimes, honestly, I can't even tell what his barometer is. I do know before Pam Bondi was axed. I'm trying to speak. Before she got fired, he was posting about Letitia James and the fact that she wasn't arrested. So you kind of knew that he was angry, he was upset, the Supreme Court wasn't going his way, something else, that the war wasn't going well, and he was angry that, I never got that indictment against Letitia James, so Pam Bondi's got to go. When she was one of the most loyal people in the Department of Justice, she remade the Department of Justice in the image he wanted, but her job wasn't safe. It's really whose is. And even with Kristi Noem, even though you could cite 1,000 reasons why she should not have had that job or why she should have lost that job, what really bugged him was the ad campaign. I mean, that was
him on the horse.
Right.
Kristi Noem told her at dinner. She told Trump about this, and he said it was okay. It's crazy.
So it's really hard to tell exactly where that barometer is.
You know what disturbs me about this entire conversation? Well, many things disturb me. So I'm disturbed tonight, folks, not just concerned. Is that there is so much extraordinary, in a negative way, behavior and things coming out of this White House, coming out of this administration. And it's been happening at this same pace since he came back into power last January, that I think this extraordinary behavior is becoming normalized, and it's going to allow it to become ordinary. And we cannot allow, it is not, what is happening should still disturb us and stir us all. Like the fact that because the president seems in hot water over some other things over here in the war, he's trying to bring us these other things to the table. He wants to get rid of Pam Bondi because she hasn't prosecuted enough of his political enemies. Well, that's crazy.
And Epstein.
And
it fumbled Epstein for him.
Yes. Even though, his name is in the files a bunch of times, and it's like, well, what really is going on? These things are all crazy.
But can I just ask you a question about your point? Isn't that also part of the distraction plan, though? I mean, it's crazy, but it's the distraction is the point.
Reality TV show.
When you shift from one thing to the next.
Well, but now I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist. Put my tinfoil hat on. Is it a distraction?
Okay.
Is it all a distraction, or are these people truly, this president and this government, are they operating from a place of they do not believe accountability will ever come to them? Is it a distraction, or is it by design, Kim?
Yeah, I think that it might be the latter. I think, honestly, I don't think that Trump, there's no evidence, from what I see, that Trump actually calculates enough to say, hey, let's put this shiny object out to divert from other things. I think he's speaking in real time, contemporaneously through his social media accounts. It's really no rhyme or reason to what's happening, and he lashes out when things aren't going well. And to your point about norms, I was really, as crazy as the post that we've been talking about was, I was also struck by the ones that he's been posting about the U.S. Supreme Court, a separate, co-equal branch of government over whom he is not supposed to have control. Even though he's appointed a third of the court, he is still trying to bully them online, no matter how many times John Roberts says that should not happen, that they should not be pressured or threatened or coerced by anybody else. He is doing that very thing. And after going to that Supreme Court argument on the way, which apparently he fired Pam Bondi, and he came out clearly knowing that it didn't go well, he's been on a rampage against them too. This is really dangerous for our government. We should not have a leader that's basically forecasting his contempt to the branch of government that's meant to, among other things, keep him in check and to serve as a guardrail to democracy. So I would be really worried to see that continue.
No, and there's no shortage of sycophants that he can get to come into his cabinet that share a lot of his most extreme views, or will at least put them forward. And your point about the separation of powers, I think, is something that is not reported enough. I mean, it's very scary. The legislative branch is completely packed it in. I mean, they have just given up their job. I mean, on the Republican side, it's a joke.
Yes.
The judicial, we're starting to see, I mean, really scary stuff there. And going after the Supreme Court and almost looking at them as if they're some sort of partisan cheerleading apparatus is incredible. Quick question to you, Kim. This is one area I think of. What's the off-ramp here for the Donald J. Trump cabinet? This is a cabinet where the Secretary of State has to wear shoes that are 2 sizes too big for him because they were a gift of the president. So we know how much of a sycophant it takes to be in this cabinet. However, if the midterms go the way the polling suggests, and suddenly you have a torrent of investigative committees coming out of the House side and the Capitol, you then see 2028 is the next year. You have the vice president. You have the Secretary of State. You have other people involved in that. Is there a sort of off-ramp here where people who are in that cabinet or who want to work in that cabinet go, okay, I need a little bit of the Trump seal of approval that could help me out later in my political career, but I don't want to go completely over to the darkest of the dark side because I might want to do something in 2028. Is that the off-ramp?
I don't know. It's really hard with this president because you don't know exactly how much leeway that you would have in that. You don't know if you'll even be able to get over to get to that off ramp in this case. And so I think it's very difficult to say. One thing that I would be, if I was a Republican in Congress right now, I'd be really nervous even at this point, even if he fires people tomorrow with the House, with the Senate rather, in full control. We have seen the worst of the president's tendency, and we also see the very, very short bench that he has. I mean, when Jeanine Pirro and Alina Habba are campaigning for the Attorney General.
Gates was the first suggestion. People forget that.
That's a bucket of crazy.
Who are you going to get confirmed even now, even with the amount of time you have left now? I would say people should be in the president's ear telling him to keep who he has in place in place.
To be clear, nobody should be getting confirmed, but that's the other problem.
That's the other problem.
Right.
Here's the bottom line. There's only one off-ramp, and it's called Trump ramp, and everybody's stuck on it. It's in a loop, and you never get off.